What's up? What's up? Tonight we are doing some bulletproof dispute training. Now, this is actually something that is part of something much, much bigger, okay? So this PDF is part of the bulletproof dispute training book, okay? And there's two links down in the description, one to pull this up if you want to go and mark this up digitally, and one to access the PDF to print it out just the way that I've intended, all right? But we're gonna do this first one together, and this may look a little bit familiar in structure if you've done Dispute IQ quiz before, okay? And I have a whole series of Dispute IQ, and I'm going to post that down in the description as well, all right? So, anywho, let's get to it. If you are struggling with getting results and you don't know how to do factual disputes, then this is going to be the thing for you. And this one's actually pretty basic, right? So, anyways, pause this, go grab one of the links in the description, and do this with me. All right, so let's look at number one, and I'm gonna go and grab a pen real quick. Let's choose, we are going to choose a purple. Okay, question number one. What is the maximum number of accounts disputed per letter? And we have a maximum per letter, per envelope, per account, and we have a couple of other things, right? But we are only doing per letter right now. Okay, so the correct answer to this is actually going to be C, 10. You want to have a maximum of 10 accounts per letter. And now there is an exception. The exception is only medical. With medical, you can have an unlimited number of disputes per letter, okay? And remember, it is one letter per envelope, meaning Experian one letter goes in an Experian envelope, okay? And then per letter, we have 10 accounts unless it is medical, okay? So unlimited would be medical. And then per account, we have one dispute reason, okay? So there are probably about 10 other things that I could go on about with limits, but let's go to the next one. What is the correct order from easiest to remove to most difficult to remove? And I've randomized them, okay? So the very first thing is actually going to be medical accounts. That is number one. Number two, and I want for you to fill this out first, okay? So number two, let's just look at them. We have late payments over 2 years old, charge-offs, foreclosures and repossessions, student loans, bankruptcy, utility bills and other third-party collections, judgments and tax liens, late payments less than 2 years old, medical collections, inquiries, and debt buyer collections. So number two is going to be judgments and tax liens. Number three is going to be utility bills and other third-party collections. Number four is going to be late payments over 2 years old. Number five is going to be inquiries, so 5. And then number 6, let's go check it out. We have charge-offs, foreclosures and repossessions, student loans, bankruptcy, late payments less than 2 years old. That is going to be 6. 7 is going to be debt buyer collections like portfolio recovery. And then we have, what are we on? 8, we have charge-offs. 9, foreclosures and repossessions. 10, student loans. And 11, bankruptcy. Okay, so a lot of people don't realize that each type of negative item has its own average length of time for removal, okay? So if you're disputing bankruptcy, you're not going to put, well, let me rephrase that. If you're disputing a bankruptcy and you are also disputing medical, your medical is bound to come off faster because of the type of account it is, okay? So you have to get familiar with how long certain things take to remove, and I have a plethora of videos on that as well. Now, this next one is going to be true or false, okay? You should never dispute online. Never, ever, 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 because, and I spelled because incorrectly, I apologize, all right? You give up your rights under sections 623 and 611. These rights are important because they include your ability to sue for a violation, right to receive results of investigation, right to fight reinserted derogatory information, and failure to investigate. You also make it easier for the bureaus to automate the investigation because you submit a dispute directly into their system. Now, if you said false, then you have a lot of catching up to do. The answer to this is true. All right. So let's go to the next one, number 4. Which of these should be included in a dispute letter to the credit bureaus? Okay. And guess what? It is going to be all of them. Personal information, name, address, date of birth, social, date of the letter, and do not backdate. That is not a real tactic, and it will not work. And I don't care if you give me a thumbs down. I don't care if you post hate comments. It's not going to get posted anyways because of the algorithm that reads my comments. Okay, so that's not a real thing. You have to realize, just pausing right there because people wanted to fight with me about it, you have to realize that your investigation starts when your letter gets to the bureaus, okay? It is automatically read by a computer, and this is the date that gets entered into the system. Your investigation starts from that date. The 30 days is from that date, okay? It doesn't matter what date you put on there. Sometimes I don't even put a date. It doesn't matter. It makes absolutely no sense to fight about this. You can go and test it out yourself if you want to go and waste time, okay? So you are putting the date of the letter or no date at all, okay? Recipient, you need to put Experian or Equifax or TransUnion or whoever the heck you are writing. Obviously, you need to have a recipient. And if you are a business, it would be stupid for you to not put a recipient, because if you have client A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you got all these clients and you're mixing all your letters and everything, they're just printing. How are you going to know that this letter for John is going to Experian and, this letter for Susie is going to Equifax if you don't put a recipient on there, okay? And then you should have 2 to 3 sentences that explain why you are writing the letter, what outcome you seek, and what expectation you have from the letter, okay? And a quick example of this, and you can go and review my video from yesterday, you can say, I want an investigation because this information is inaccurate and these need to be removed. Please send me a new credit report, and that is it, okay? Other than the fact that obviously you need to have your accounts on there. And that brings us to each disputed account. Creditor name, account number, dispute reason, and the facts. That is what you need to have. And this is going to be using the Agero formula. The Agero formula is a formula that I have been using for well over 5 years. I've been doing this professionally for a decade, but well over 5 years, I created the Agero formula, which has allowed me year after year consistently and increasing each year to get results. In 2020 alone, I had over 20,000 deletions, okay? So there's a structure for a reason, okay? So go and check out the Agero videos. I posted them in the link in the description of my video yesterday. Now, the last question is complete this dispute reason. This one's really, really simple. So we have our word bank right here below. All right, so we have investigation, reported, and verified. Stop reporting this account because you, is it investigation, reported, or verified? It is verified because obviously it is in quotes, okay? Verified it, and yet it did not change the date last. Is it reported or investigation? Reported, okay? On my credit report, this means that no investigation occurred and this account was never verified. So the full complete dispute reason is stop reporting this account because you verified it and yet did not change the date last reported on my credit report. Now, pausing there real quick, this might also be listed as status update date on your credit report. It all depends on where you are looking at your credit report, okay? Now, another side note here is that I have all my clients use Identity IQ, okay? It shows me all the information that I need for factual based disputes, okay? Now, moving on, this means that no investigation occurred and this account was never verified, okay? So one thing that you want to realize is that when the bureaus, verify an account, the date last reported, the DLR, is supposed to be updated to the date that they verified the account. So obviously if there's been no change to this date, but they came back and said that it was verified, then that means there's been no investigation, okay? So that is what I am referring to in this, all right? So again, I am creating quite a few things with the Bulletproof Dispute Training, and if you are interested in the dispute training PDFs that are going to be turned into a book starting with this one, then you can submit your interest using the link on your screen. It's just my email, sales@ask-kristen.com. All right, so it's going to be coming out at the end of this month, and that's when I'm going to start accepting pre-orders, and then you can actually grab the book at the beginning of next month. All right, so anyways, that is it for tonight. If you need help, use the link on the top of your screen to schedule a call with me to see if I can do the credit sweep for you, okay? Right now is not the time to be wondering and guessing if you are disputing the right way. You should have this done professionally. You should have it done the right way. You should not be wondering if you are going to get results, okay? So that is it for tonight. Have a great one. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you tomorrow.